All right, everybody, Working Dog Radio. We are back broadcasting The Bite. Another great episode coming to you from Ohio. My name is Eric Stambro. With me, as always, from Tornado Alley, Tulsa, is Ted Summers. What's up, Ted?
It's that time of year. It's springtime in Oklahoma. It's nader season. So hopefully we're going to get through this without a power outage, because if it's not allergies and the weather that's going to kill you here, it's something else. It's first 48, so it's the fucking indigenous population here. Tulsa is having a murderous spring. The fucking gangbangers are out killing each other, which, whatever, it's not my problem. But
welcome to spring.
Yeah, welcome to spring. The new Torchlight facility is continuing to get built. They're cutting concrete the last 2 days to install our fucking floor grate. I'm not
dusty. A little dusty.
No, these dudes haven't figured out. They like wet it down. Yeah, like they're super good. I'm not doing any. I'm training dogs. I'm there, but these dudes are in there and they're cutting concrete drains and shit and cutting holes for us. So it's gonna be like an internal, so I can hose that shit down multiple times a day, and I'll have to f around with all the other stuff. So it's gonna make it super easy. Other than that, I got a Yorkie that can be for pet training. Nice. So it's been fun. That. He's his name's Toto. He is him and Crumb are the two silky coated penis weasels. They're they're funny. I'll say that. Funny, haha. Yeah. But what do you got going on? You got the build out finished, huh?
Yeah, we opened today.
I was going to say today's the day, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was cool. You know, they had done an article in the local paper about me and the business, and then a local Spectrum News, which runs all of Ohio, picked it up and did a whole nother story on it. And we had 5 or 6 people just drop in, which never happened at the other place. Just dropped in today, and we booked 3 board and trains, all because of my prior career.
Nice.
So they wanted to, I'm not doing the training either, but they wanted, to come work for us or work with us. So yeah, it's good. We 25 dogs in the daycare today. Those are all those are all dogs that are following with us. We're pretty lucky. I think of all the clients we have, one maybe isn't coming just because of geographical location from where she lives and works. So that's pretty good. We're trying to figure out something for her. She's a real super nice lady. So yeah, working that. Had I let a lot of people use the fun house, and I had a tactical medical group there today doing tactical scenarios, nothing to do with dogs. And they're there today and tomorrow. I guess it went pretty well. They're like, hey, yeah, we use fake blood. I'm like, come on, man. Put fake blood on the fucking carpet, man. The carpet's old and shitty, but so what?
If you're gonna do it, make it worth it. Stab somebody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, throw out some cashage, man. So anyways, the simunition shoot house is finished. I went almost bankrupt buying fucking wood for that. And but it's cool, man. SWAT's been there. A couple SWAT teams have used it. A couple guys that I did some stuff Tuesday, canine stuff Tuesday with it. Just working leash handling, hitting doors. A couple of the guys that were there from a department that only train with me once in a while, they actually never do building searches on leash. I'm like, okay, well, today's the day, and there's 2 people, so good luck.
How'd that go?
Not bad, not bad. They were doing direction, but the one, of course, they take off down to the end of the hall,
right?
So we had to bring them back and work them. It worked out though. They actually both transitioned after. So what they did was they bit the first decoy, bite, or bark, pop the door, bite, little fight. Then we came in and arrested the decoy and took the decoy out and let the dog see us take the decoy down a hallway, and then they have to go straight down another hallway to go find his buddy. Right. Because shitheads commit crimes together.
Shitheads commit crimes together. Yes, they do. So conversion drill.
What do we got going on tonight, buddy?
We have a guy that was part of a program. It's called the TEDD program with 2 Ds, so not me. But which I'm still shocked that there's a ton of people that don't even know what that program is. And it was kind of a precursor to a lot of things, and there was a lot of stuff going on when it happened. But with us tonight from out in the Carolinas is Jason Dutton. Jason, what's up, man?
Hey, how are y'all?
We are rocking and rolling. I'm glad it's spring. So,
all right. Yeah.
So give us a little bit of your background, you know, how you got into canine, how we got here, and we'll pick it up from there.
Yeah, I got here by volunteering for this TED program. And then kind of after the Army, after the whole TED program, did a bunch of other canine courses. And then eventually had the opportunity to become a canine officer for my local city. So, and that's what I do today.
So you were Army, correct?
Correct.
So
Yep.
when you went in, what was your MOS?
It was the infantry.
Okay. At the time they didn't have, because now I think canine is now an official MOS now.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was not at the time.
Correct.
So talk a little bit about how you get into the TED program and how you get into dogs. Because did you sign up for entry thinking like, I'm going to handle a dog, I'm going to handle an explosive dog?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
We was stationed at Fort Drum with 10th Mountain Division, and we were coming up on our deployment rotation, and our first sergeant kind of got us all together, and he said, I need one volunteer. And of course, no one raises their hand. He said, I need one volunteer to be a dog handler for this upcoming deployment for the brigade. And I kind of looked around, nobody was volunteering. So I raised my hand and I got chosen, and kind of off I started this journey with the TED program at VLK.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about what the TED program was.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of people even today, like you say it and they look at me and I'm like, no, it's not me. Because what I'm talking about, I'm like, no, it's not me. It's 2Ds. And so like, what is it?
So we were told it was kind of a government initiative to put more dogs in country that could find IEDs, find weapons caches, find, HME mixtures, check vehicle security ECPs, and really just the government wanted dogs in country, walking the ground with the soldiers.
So a lot of that was kind of born out of, like you said, like some of the stuff that was going on, because we've had multiple guys on, multiple handlers on from, I think, pretty much every branch except the Coast Guard, which I'm wearing my Tosca shirt, by the way, Nick. So we're working on getting Nick on. But we had the guy on that was one of the first Marines on the ground in Iraq, and there was like his commanders were like, "What the fuck? We even have dogs? Like, where did you come from? Where is this dog? Like, what's the deal? Like, what can you do?" Like, he tells a story. So in the early days of the TED program, once you get into the selection portion of it and you get into the training, like, how did that happen? How many of there were you? How were you assigned? Like that kind of stuff.
So the TED program was open to all MOSs. So we had about 15 guys across the brigade. We had combat engineers, mechanics, infantry guys, mortar guys. So we all got chosen, moved up to the headquarters brigade area, and then we went straight off to VLK to start this whole TED learning process of being a handler.
So TED stands for
Tactical Explosive Detection Dog. Can never say that right.
Yes. So what was the difference between like these dogs and then the MWD program, which is a storied history from Lackland, from 341st?
Boy, when we were first talked about this program, we all thought we were going to Lackland. We had no clue about, private entities kind of doing stuff with the Army. I can't really discuss the MWD side of the house because I never saw it. No one ever talked about it. All we knew was, the MP handlers on base with their dogs. And that was kind of the only exposure we ever had. The only dogs we saw in country were TED dogs.
How big was the program? Like, how many dogs did they put out?
Oh God.
If you can say.
I don't know. I mean, I think 15 handlers every month, another 15, another 15, another 15.
Damn.
Yeah, it was huge.
So, how many dogs did you handle? Or I guess you go to Von Lake, they assign you a dog, and these are all single purpose dogs. None of them are dual purpose.
Correct. Yep.
So you are assigned a dog up at Lackland. So at this point, you've never been a handler. You're not like a trainer. And so what was this process like of going through this program up there in Indiana?
It was a crazy experience. The first day we got in a big line and bring out dogs one by one. And some dogs, you go to hand a leash to the new handler and the dog was just flipping out. So, Jazz, she was like, oh, nope, brought that dog back in the kennel, brought out a new dog. They really try to pair, if you're introverted kind of guy, they would give you an extroverted dog and try to give you a good matchup with handlers and dogs. I had 2 dogs throughout the whole process. It's kind of interesting because the dogs, it was 30 days in Indiana, 30 days in Yuma, Arizona, and then 30 days in Afghanistan. So at the end of 30 days in Indiana, the dogs kind of learned like, oh, hey, I'm about to go to Yuma and then I'm about to go to Afghanistan. So we had dogs washing out. My dog started eating odor out of nowhere. She got recycled. Shit. Yeah, it was interesting seeing the dogs knowing they're about to go to Afghanistan, and some of them would just stop working.
Let me ask you this question about Denver, Indiana. Mm-hmm. We heard a rumor that the only thing in Denver is a strip club. True?
There's a bar there.
It's
on his property.
Well, that was my first time at a strip club ever. It was there.
Man.
So. Coming on here lying.
I don't know if that's something you need to put on your resume or not. I mean, most people are like, "Oh, it was in Vegas or Miami." It was the first time I was one. Oh, this, that,
Yep.
You're like, "I was the first strip club you went to, like Denver, Indiana." People are like, "Where?"
Yeah, I mean,
the girl had vitiligo.
What was the name of that place? I don't even know. I have never been there. Although, like, Tulsa is the strip club capital of the world, but I
think it's Kokomo.
That's true.
Yeah, it's one of those things like per capita. I guess it's something that we're known for. That in the first 48. I mean, we kill a bunch of people here. We have a bunch of strip clubs.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't know. It's just a thing. I don't know. It's a weird deal. Plus, the city has some kind of weird deal where you can't, like, if you get a permit for it, like it's like this, you grandfather in and you sell the permits to people and you sell them to your neighbor or whoever.
A lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you worked at a strip club, Eric. No.
Yeah. I DJ'd at 2 of them. That's pretty good.
There you go. Sorry, we got off track. So, like she started getting you. So your dog starts to aggress on odor. And by
so we had great trainers. Y'all know Jazz. She's been on the show. I think last year. Mm-hmm. Jazz was awesome. She was very nitpicky on everything. As your first time running a first scenario in a 4x4 room, she's telling you to go left and go right, and you're like, I kind of get all jumbled with Jazz. That's just kind of her teaching style. But yeah, after I think about 3 weeks, my dog, she'd sit down at the odor and then just kind of look at me and just paw at it or some type of aggressive alert, and then like Jazz and trainers behind me yelling "phooey," and I'm like, oh, what'd I do? It was just really weird.
They're not talking to you.
Yeah.
So what was the first dog that you deployed, or what was the dog's name that you deployed with?
So this dog was named Everett, and he was a black lab. He was a great dog, training wise. I think he kind of learned when I put my kid on in Afghanistan that it was about time to, go do work, and he was not about that life. So it was very frustrating for me as a handler, knowing that this dog does not work in country. Great training dog. Everyone says he's a great training dog, but he doesn't work. And I could never get a replacement dog because I was over there, and it was kind of frustrating for me as a handler.
Were they, was that he deployed before?
So
familiarity?
The more missions we did, the more I'm like, this dog is just he's not doing what, I was trained for this dog to do, working this dog. And I talked it over with my vet, and the previous handler had actually been in an IED blast with the dog. And, then it all kind of made sense. He's pairing me, put my kid on with this explosion that happened last year. So, kind of all made sense, but you couldn't go and get a brand new dog and recertify with that dog. So I was just kind of stuck basically. So it's very hard.
Yeah, that's super frustrating because the boys are looking at you like, hey, what?
Yeah, they're like, what's
Yeah,
what's up with the dog?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that I think we've had. I had to remember who it was. We had a couple of people on that have talked about dogs developing that kind of that in what is effectively PTSD. And then one of my good friends, Chloe Wells, had he's now passed, but Doc or D-Doc, it's kind of a similar deal. Like he was in MWD, was deployed to Middle East, and he got into several explosions. And he had, when she adopted him, he was all like fireworks and all kinds of crazy shit would cause him to freak out. And the last like 5 years of his life or something, she did a great job with him. And I mean, he lived a normal life through retirement, and he lost an eye and all kinds of stuff in retirement, but he was great. I mean, but yeah, I mean that happens quite a bit. It's not just people that develop that, it's dogs too. And they learn, like you said, I mean, they start to associate that. I mean, dogs are masters of association. So it doesn't surprise me that he was able, but they didn't tell you that when they handed you the dog, they were like, oh, this dog.
And even when I handed the dog off to, K2 for the next handler, I said, hey, this dog has these problems. Like, you guys need to retire this dog. And it was just, dog went on another deployment. And I don't know how they did or the dog did with that, but I tried.
Right. So that was your first dog, right? That was the first dog you deployed with. Who was your second dog?
Kind of recap.
Okay.
The first dog I had in training at VLK was a Dutch Shepherd, and she was the one that was started aggressively alerting on the odors. So then I got the lab when we went down to Yuma, Arizona, to finish the training, and then the lab was mine for the 9-month deployment, and then got out of the Army the next year. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, how do you remember? I didn't look it up. Do you remember what year they quit the TEDD program?
2013, 14, I believe. I know when we got to Afghanistan, a week later, VLK lost the contract, the TEDD contract. And then K2 came in and took it over. But we had this really weird period of time where all these VLK trainers were basically laid off, and instead of saying, okay, F you guys, I'm going back home, they stayed with us through the whole certification process. And then we had a month of just zero training from any type of formal instruction. We were just kind of doing it on our own, kind of remembering what we learned in class, and it was a very weird time period for us.
Was someone supposed to deploy with you on the training side or no?
Yeah. So we got to Bagram in RC East. And then we went out to FOB Tirana, and then we were supposed to have a main trainer at FOB Tirana, and then all the other bigger FOBs had canine trainers. So we'd basically, if we went out to another forward operating base that didn't have a canine trainer, every month we'd fly back to do our upkeep training, do all of our records, send the records into the K2 guys. So we saw a lot of our trainer actually from K2.
Would you have rather have gone to Anniston, Alabama, or Denver, Indiana for your training?
I think Denver. I like cold weather. Denver was good.
K2 is in North Carolina.
I thought they were in Anniston.
No, that's Excalibur.
Somebody's over there, dude. Yeah, I went to a school in weapons of mass destruction school in Anniston, Alabama, and the government puts it on. It was probably to date the best food I've ever eaten at any training.
Well, it's some fucking federal money,
dude. There was prime rib the last night. All you can eat prime rib.
Fed money.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
They also had a guest speaker come in one night who was the lead investigator for Oklahoma City bombing.
Oh, the Murrah building thing?
Yeah, man. That was interesting because you got to see and talk about things you'd never seen before.
Was the ATF guy?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I drank a lot in that.
Fed money. Exactly.
Beers were like $1. Exactly. I mean, it's cheap.
Fucking fed money. So, Paul Hammond's company's down there. We've had him on before. Speaking of explosive,
Yeah, that's who it is.
That was a good episode. So you have this. So you have the dog that and you initially deploy with. So give me a little bit of like talk about the first time you guys leave Fort Operating Base to go on patrol with this dog. Like you've gone through Denver, Indiana, you've switched dogs, you've gone through Yuma, then you've done 30 days in country training, and now you're like, all right, well, we're going outside the wire, bro. This dog's got to do his thing, and you got to do your shit too. And I mean, I'm sure the rest of the unit was standing there looking at you like, hey, I mean,
yep.
You gonna do this or what?
So what was awesome about the TEDD program, it was you were a NATO asset. You weren't just a U.S. Army asset. So we were very fortunate to have the Polish Special Forces. They were Task Force 50 on our base at Sharana. So every time they needed a dog, they'd call down to our little compound we had, and whoever was available that night went. So that was my first mission with those guys. And the mission for that night was basically to go to a compound of guys suspected making IEDs, find all the IEDs. And I don't know what they do with the guy because I could never understand their briefings, so they didn't speak English. But so we we get on the helicopter, landed at this dude's front lawn or front stand, whatever you want to call it. And the Polish kind of did their thing, clearing the rooms out, and I just kind of had my dog like ready to go, waiting for someone to tell me what to do because I couldn't understand anybody. And one of the Polish guys came out and said, okay, search. And as I'm standing there, my dog is pulling me crazy to this garage. I'm like, awesome. My first mission, my first find. This is going to be great. So we go up to this garage and, it doesn't have a door. It's all open. And I see this little puppy just running across the garage, and my dog just went right after it. And I was like, dude, I hope this isn't like the rest of my deployments. But we didn't find anything at the compound. So we got back on the helicopter and left. So it was very, very interesting. Not at all what I expected was going to happen.
Interesting. We've had some other guys on that talk about like dogs getting involved in some of the other stuff too. And we're going to take a break for a second. When we come back, we'll pick up right where we left off. But so don't fast forward the commercials, and we'll be back. Hold on.
We have a long-standing relationship with the guys over at HITS Canine Training Conference. It's truly America's premier canine seminar. It is the largest. It is the best. They cover every important topic in the canine industry, hundreds and hundreds of vendors, thousands of canine people there. Everybody in this industry is there. Ted and I will be teaching. HITS 2022 is being held in Orlando, Florida, August 16th to the 19th. Also, check out their website, hitscanine.net. They have other classes that they're putting out online, Zoom classes and all kinds of other things. They're offering in-person classes leading up to HITS 2022, Orlando, Florida, August 16th to the 19th. Check it out, hitscanine.net.
Everyone knows that I live on chicken nuggets and Coors Light. So that doesn't mean your dog should, though. Our friends at Kinetic make it a point to fuel working dogs, and they know that it can be tough and they need high quality food, unlike me, to give them energy and the nutrients that they require. I just subsist on air and Coors Light, but the dogs can't. They actually have to work. So for that, we asked Kinetic, and Kinetic has come up with a great balance of healthy meats and grains, and is made specifically for working and sport dogs. They have a full line of foods and supplements available, and they've been working to perfect their line for thousands of dogs in hundreds of departments across the U.S. You can buy it locally online or at Tractor Supply, or you can get it at Chewy. So head over to their website, kineticdogfood.com, 513-615-6904, and get them on the socials at Kinetic Dog Food.
So probably the number one product I've ever advertised for or used that does what they say is Quick Derm by Vet Care. I have it at my house. I have it at the kennel. I have it at the fun house. I have it at the doggy daycare. I have my trainers have it at their house. It is unbelievable how it works. You guys have all heard Ted and I talk about it, how we've gotten tagged by dogs, or dogs do, if you're dealing with working dogs, weird stuff happens.
right? Cuts that, how the hell that happened? Bites, scratches, all kinds of things that happen, especially if you're doing anything in the wooded area. They get tore up. The Quick Derm by Vet Care, it is no exaggeration. It is great. So once daily treatment for any skin condition or small wounds to help stop little issues from becoming big ones. Comes in sprays, ointments, or dressing. Quick Derm is great at creating a protective barrier and promoting wound healing. The best thing too is they have a discount code. Get on their website, vetcare.us. That's vetcare.us. Put in the discount code 10WDR in capital letters, 10WDR for 10% off your first order.
These next guys have actually been on the show, and we instructed at the first Tripwire conference down in Florida. Jim O'Brien was a guest on the show, and he runs NC Canine, who has now come onto the show as a sponsor. Jim's been around for quite a long time, about 13-ish years, with experience handling and training law enforcement canines. He uses real-world deployments to develop training program and not rely only on their experience, but current experiences from most of their national canine teams and handlers to provide the best canine partner that you guys can purchase. They provide pet training and police canine services based out of Four Oaks, North Carolina, and they serve the surrounding areas. Feel free to give Jim a call, a text, carrier pigeon, however you want to get a hold of him, to talk to him about police canine training or pets and techniques and methodologies. So hit him up at 919-438-0141 or J. O'Brien. That's JOBRIEN at NC, letter K number 9.us. Check the show notes. We'll put it there. All right, we're back with Jason Dutton, former TEDD handler from U.S. Army. And we were just talking about his first trip doing the actual job outside the Fort operating base. And your dog went after a puppy. We had Eric, who was it, Benny? We had Benny on early on in the first, like in the teen episodes, and he talked about handling dogs for one of the SMUs to the Navy, and he would carry food with him for the fucking stray dogs, and because they would always bark and give them away, and he was like, "Oh, my dog wasn't really like, didn't care about other dogs, but he would throw like raw meat at them or something. He would have like water bottles of raw meat." But so you were talking about you were deployed with what's the name of their unit?
Task Force 50, and they had a Navy SEAL EOD attachment with them at all times.
So how long were you attached to those guys? Like the entire rotation? Or
no, it's just, when they called you down at our little base, whoever was available went, and then when you're done with the mission, you're basically done with them for that day. So the guys that were still in the compound, I then got attached to the quick reaction force for the 2nd Brigade combat team, and then other guys that were still on the compound, if the Polish needed them, then the other guys would go out. So I kind of got attached, the longer the deployment went. I think my lieutenant kind of put us where we needed to be. We knew which dogs weren't really working. We knew which handlers were just complete garbage. So, if we had a good dog, good team, you went with the QRF guys. If you were kind of a slacker, so to say, kind of subpar handler team, then you just sat at the ECP gate all day long. So
you can say it if you sucked. It's okay.
It's permissible.
Yeah, it's okay. We have those in law enforcement too.
Yes.
we have those. I tell them all the time. I was like, there's 100 different jobs in law enforcement. This is probably not the one for you. Like, you can do something else, like go be a detective or something. Yeah. Like, this is probably not the one you want to do.
Yeah.
I know exactly how you feel, man. It's super frustrating. My first dog I've talked about on here before had 20 plus failures to engage on the street for 3 straight years. At training, she was a rock star. On the road, she was never going to bite. And it became super dangerous. Then all you end up doing is making excuses for the dog, And did you find yourself having to do that? Like, I don't know, man. Or it was like, listen, it's obvious.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I can't remember what trainer told me, he said, it's better to have a dog out there that, can't find explosives, for example, but just to have that presence, make the guys kind of get that warm, good feeling that, hey, the dog team's out there. I think it really helped. There's some times where, I was on a route clearance mission and my dog's pulling me, had this great change of behavior. He's sniffing the air. I'm like, great, we're about to find something. And then he goes up to a little branch and pees on it, and then he's good. And it was a constant struggle for me with this lab. But
did you actually have any fines that you got to?
We had two. They're both UXOs, and every time we went on a mission, sometimes we'd come back the exact same way. I remember one time we came back the exact same way, and I saw this little rock formation. I saw the tip of a 40 millimeter grenade sticking out of the sand, and I told all the guys about it. I told the sergeants about it. Like, okay, keep moving. We'll just leave it there. And that could still be out there to this day. I don't know. But yeah, we found some UXOs and just some stuff. Some EODs guys got to blow up. So
for those listening, UXO is unexploded ordnance. So you guys are finding like you said, 40 mil or something not massive.
Something not right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So, was there a time where the dog that is the best way to say this, that had the dog not been there, there would have been some pretty bad repercussions. So was there a time that, like, even if it was, even if it wasn't an issue, or like with the dog actually finding, like, alerting on a true explosive, whether it be HME or IEDs or whatever, but is there a notable time where, like, the entire team, even though you're an attachment, they're like, fuck, I'm glad you were here?
To be honest, I don't think so. Where we were at in RC East, I think our whole unit only had maybe 10 fines, where, RC South, they were having, maybe 30 a month. So I don't know if it's just sheer luck that we didn't find anything, which, at the end of the day is good. But yeah, I don't think there was ever a good example of where they were super thankful that I was out there, because I, did something to potentially save their life. I don't think that just didn't happen.
Were you getting reports from guys that you had gone through class with that were getting fines overseas while you were out there?
You mean when
you were deployed, when you're in Afghanistan, were you getting any reports of, hey, so-and-so TED handler just found whatever?
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yep. We had this whole email system. So all of our records, we did them on paper, scanned them in. So kind of talked with everybody through this email system. Some handlers would be like, hey, I found a RP tree that kind of bounced out the bed of a truck and just ended up on the dirt. And some guys that would actually find IEDs, and, and it was always like that, you motherfucker, I got this fucking lab that's sniffing piss and you're over here finding good stuff. So it was frustrating for sure.
Now, if that dog had worked out, do you think you would have stayed in and ran another one?
No, because the TED program, I mean, you couldn't volunteer again for it, which was kind of the weird thing. You'd think the Army would have wanted more of the TED guys, if you were a TED handler and you got another TED deployment coming up, that you could stay in it, but it just wasn't that. And as we were winding down our TED program, or the TED program, that's when the Army started introducing their own, MOS for working dogs. So the TED program just kind of basically died.
Because they knew it sucked.
Well, I mean, I didn't say it, but I mean, so, that was something that I kind of wanted, like, and Eric kind of hit on it a little bit, like some of the guys were doing fines, and, we've had a guy there's a guy local to me that I've tried to get on the show, that was a Marine handler. And he obviously wasn't part of the TED program, but he handled a black lab also. And that dog 100% did save them a lot. And he was part of he was in Sengen, and they lost a lot of guys in one rotation. I think 17 dudes, I think, is what his
it was a
lot.
Yeah.
But the dog managed to save a lot of guys, and the handler didn't say, so it could have been a higher number. But so moving forward, you get out of the military, or you stay in the military. What after the TED program? Where'd you go?
I did my last year in the Army. Contract came up. I didn't want to re-up. I didn't like some things about the Army. I hated being treated like a little kid and going to work at 3:30 in the morning because someone was late the previous day. So I got out of the Army and I knew I wanted to stay in dogs. I was fortunate. I was watching a YouTube video one night of some dog training, and they were like, I saw a comment that said, "This dog training shit, go to Houston Canine Academy." And so I look up Houston Canine Academy, and there's Jazz. So I call Jazz, and she invites me down and take a handler's course and instructor's course. And it just went from there. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
They do a good job down there.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
So before you were going to get out, what job did they give you? Like when you got back and were out of the TEDD program?
I just went back to doing what I was doing. I was with the I was in the Delta platoon, which was Delta company, which was all Humvees and kind of the mobile guys. So I went back to commanding a Humvee team. When I really started, I was a driver, and then now I was the truck commander with this Afghan deployment everybody liked and no one else had. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a second commercial break real quick. We come back, we'll get into the civilian side of where you're at. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, this episode has been brought to you by great sponsors of ours. Please don't skip through this. Take a listen to them. One of our oldest sponsors and great friends of ours are the people down at Highland Canine down in North Carolina. I really like them. We see them at all the conferences. I know a lot of people have been to their school for dog trainers. They've been on the podcast. Highland Canine, they're a full service canine and pet dog training business where they can train you to be a trainer. They can get you a dog. They have handler classes. They have supervisor classes. They have trainers courses for just LE. They have them for anybody who wants to be in the dog business, be a dog trainer of any kind. Check them out. Their website is tacticalpolicecaninetraining.com, tacticalpolicecaninetraining.com. If you are smart, you'll go down there in the winter. It is North Carolina. It is warm. You get to work dogs. It's no joke school, guys. You're not going down there for a month and rushing through it. They're actually trying to make you real deal dog trainers. Tacticalpolicecaninetraining.com.
Next is a sponsor that's been with us for quite a while, Dogtra. I love Dogtra stuff, and they continually keep bringing out new products. One of the things that I've been using a lot lately is the new Tone Box. If you're a pet trainer or if you train a lot of police officers, and I harp at my guys all the time about timing, and this thing literally pairs to the remote, and when you're using the remote, whether you're using knit, constant, or vibrate, it makes a noise, so you can get the timing down 100% consistent. And so I can demonstrate how to do an out with an e-collar immediately, quickly, and it is so effective that I can't believe that it took me forever to figure it out to get that. They've also got these new comfort feather, like titanium things that go on the collars that are fantastic for making sure we got contact. It actually has 6 points, and this comes in 2 sizes, and it's a titanium feather thing. They're awesome. They got comfort contact points for the bark collars, the YS600, one of my favorite things. I have about 50 of them at the kennel, and it is dead silent. And I put them on all the pet dogs, and I can leave them on because they have the comfort contact points, and they're fantastic. All this stuff you can get at dogtra.com. And if you use the discount code WDR10, you get 10% off a single item over $200. So that covers the ball trainer. That covers the 1900 Ask Hands Free, which is my personal favorite for all the big dogs. It covers the 2-dog system, the 202C, which I use for the 2-dog pet guys, and fantastic. So dogtra.com, or go to @DogtraOfficial on all the socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, all those places. So hit them up, dogtra.com.
Guys, I don't even shop any other sites when I'm looking for everything for dogs. Our one-stop shop for anything pet dog training and police dog training, hunt dog training, anything you need, you can find at rayallen.com. They have been doing it forever. We have a great relationship with them. Again, they're at all the conferences. You can stop up and talk to them. They have more stuff there than any place. rayallen.com. They are amazing. We have a great, really, really good relationship with those guys. Like I said, I get on their website. I do not look anywhere else. I just get on Ray Allen. Why should I? Fill up my cart, pay it, boom, shipping. Here we go. Everything's coming. rayallen.com. And guess what? We do have a discount code for them. Working Dog Radio for 10% off. It's all one, Working Dog Radio, and it's all caps. Check them out, rayallen.com.
I'm not too ashamed to admit that I used our own discount code to buy stuff for the kennel. We have American Aluminum next. They're a new sponsor for moving forward. They have been around for quite a while. They manufacture a wide variety of products, from the high quality cam lockers and toolboxes to a huge line of products designed to meet the ever-changing needs of law enforcement community. Back in 1992, due to the demand for safe, secure transport for a nearby law enforcement department's canine, they introduced the very first Easy Rider canine. They have continuously grown and expanded products, catering to the needs and wants of the valued customers and high-profile clientele. Over the years, as the needs have changed, they have evolved and expanded their products to include inmate transport systems, canine training aids, canine inserts, contraband, containment, and animal control systems, just to name a couple of things. So you can find them at easyrideronline.com. That is Easy Echo Zulu Rider Online.com. You can find them on the socials at American Aluminum Accessories, and then you can hit them up toll free, 1-800-277-0869. You don't have to worry about writing all that down. We're going to put it in the show notes. So just scroll down to the bottom, write it down, click the link, takes you straight there onto your phone.
Our first sponsor we ever had, he's our ride or die. He's been with us since the beginning, is Arno over at ALM Canine Equipment. His stuff is so good. Ted, gets suits. Ted's suit, he's had it for a long time. Arno's fixed it. He's taken 1 million bites on it. It still holds up. The thing's amazing. I've got a suit from him. I love it. Use it all the time. But the main thing that I really love about Arno is his hidden sleeves are ridiculously amazing. They are the best. And his tugs. I usually buy tugs from Arno by the box load. He'll send me a whole bunch of them. I hand them out to the handlers, new handlers when they come in, experienced handlers. They last for a long time. They're amazing. The craft work is great. Arno's doing all the sewing there. He's got pre-made suits. He can do custom-made suits, everything you need out there. And he's out there in sunny Las Vegas. Get on his website, check him out, almcanineequipment.com, almcanineequipment.com. Discount code WD Radio, all caps, 10% off your first order. Check them out.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Working Dog Radio, broadcasting the bite. Ted and I with Jason Dutton talked about I'm super frustrated, dude, listening to you talk. And I can't imagine it's, how you were feeling there doing that. Had a chance for it to be something like magical. And it doesn't even have to be, sure, I know guys who have deployed with dogs and they're like, listen, we just weren't in a busy area, but my dog worked his ass off. But they sent you out with a turd that, that, I don't know, man. It's super frustrating to hear that shit. 15 dogs a month. There's fuck off, man. 15 dogs a month. You're not putting out good dogs. You're not putting out good training. You're not. It's bullshit. That just irritates the shit out of me, just doing the math. And it's like, there's no way. You don't have that many good dogs. You don't have that many good handlers. Your trainers can't keep up. I'm sure Jazz and them tried.
Yep.
Fuck, man. So enough is enough with that. And that's right in the, you guys are going to Afghanistan. It just really fucking irritates me, man. So, but anyway, so you get out, you go down to Houston. Jazz and Jason are down there. How was the handler school? What were you like? Fuck, this is what it should be.
The handler school was great. Came back to the trainer school. It was interesting because in the trainer school we had a group of, I think, 10 or 15 officers in Jazz's class, and I saw the same frustration in those new officers, new canine handlers that I had with Jazz, and Jazz would nitpick them just like she did me, and they get all frustrated. And
you're like, it's not personal. She hates everybody. She thinks you suck too. It's fine. I was there. That's what you told them. You're like, look, I suck too. It's okay.
Yep. But no, Jazz is great. She's got such a good passion.
She's awesome. She's
awesome. So I did those 2 classes with her. Buddy of mine told me about the Michael Ellis school. So I went out to Petaluma for 3 months with Michael Ellis and really learned, pairing obedience with food, which was awesome. Seeing what dogs can do just with food and that positive reinforcement and your verbal markers. I incorporate today in training. Went out to George Cockrell at Canine Obedience Unlimited in Maryland, did his trainer school for the kind of the more pet dog stuff. Didn't know where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to start a business, but I didn't know if I wanted to do pet dogs or working dogs or what. So I really got the Army trying to take as much classes as I can, because I learned when VOK lost that contract, I kind of fell into that new handler trap of, when someone else is trying to came in, K2, for instance, came in, they were giving us pointers, and we were everything, all these tools K2 was giving us, we were just throwing away, and we're like, no, you got shit. We love VOK, and they lost contract, and we're taking it personally instead of really understanding that, the more tools you have for your toolbox, the better off you'll be as a handler. So I attended all the schools and started my business here in the upstate of South Carolina.
So what is, you get through all the schools, and we had, and for those listening, we had Michael, I think he was episode 100, wasn't he, Eric?
Yeah.
Yep. He was the Centennial episode. It was a great episode. So, talk a little bit about, like, as you transition out and you're deciding like where to go, and you go see Jazz and you go do all this other stuff. And so you're now in the Carolinas doing obviously pet dog stuff. Are you doing anything else?
So I started off doing pet dog stuff. I had a pet dog company, and I kind of got tired of the foo-foo dogs, teaching them place, and the parents of these dogs would never do the homework, and I really wanted to get back in the working dog side of the house. I think as a good business owner, you look at your competition, and I was in college at the time for entrepreneurship, and I looked up my local police canine business competition. This guy, not talking shit at all, but he boasted 40 years experience. He's a president of a national certification entity. So I was like, cool. So I went out, called him. He let me come job shadow basically. And the training was just, doing 1 week handler courses, and the training was just not what I was used to after seeing, Jazz and VOK and other stuff. So I knew I could get into this market. Then I started working in the jail, and then canine officer got fired, and I basically took her spot and certified with the NNDDA, and we're here today. Built our kennels out here. We got 50 acres out here. Spend most of the day cleaning shit and piss and kennels and doing all that fun stuff. And we're just slowly getting there. We got our own certification that's been approved by the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy. So we're just slowly getting there, getting our name out there, and doing the small business stuff. And
South Carolina is the state, one of the few states that actually has a mandatory certification. Actually, Ohio does instead of Oklahoma, but Oklahoma has detection only. Ohio has both, and then South Carolina is
dual purpose.
Is only, but is it odor too now, or do they? It's only apprehension, right?
It's only apprehension. They say specifically on the website, we do not want your odor certification, only bite work. So,
which
wonder why?
There's a couple of states that are like that. Like Oklahoma is detection only. So we don't give a shit about track. Well, we do, but we don't do a state certification for detection. Or for bite work or for apprehension for tracking. So Ohio does, right, Eric?
Oh yeah, we have everything. I'm surprised at that. With so if the state has nothing, cool, man. Everybody can go get a national. But if you have one, how do you choose? So let's go with just the odor, because nobody will ever get sued for biting, right? Let's just do the biting, because there's no court cases about dope.
No,
you know what I mean?
I inevitably there is always a story. And if you're listening to this and you're in a state that has a certification, I guarantee you, there is a story about some asshole that handled a dog when Reagan was president, and he thought it should be this way, and this is the way that it is, and everybody has just pushed that shit down the line. That's how it started. And there's no, we've had the guy, one of the head guys for Oklahoma on, Anthony Moore, Cleat, and he and I have had multiple conversations back and forth about things similar to this, and we're like, well, I don't really know why we don't do that, and I'm like, I don't either. So, and it's just because that's the way they fucking done everything forever. And so it's kind of one of those things. And it's always weird when people come to me and they're like, oh, this state does this. Or, well, there's only, I think there's like 12 states now that are mandatory. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm doing a dog for a department in South Dakota, and that's mandatory. So
everything. They have everything. South Dakota.
I don't know. Gizmo is a single purpose seal lab. I didn't look at I'm pretty sure that they have a apprehension side. In fact, I know they do, because one of my friends that's now here, Cody, he lived here, moved to South Dakota, moved back, and he handled a patrol dog up there. And and I think they're one of the states that like they encourage bark and hold or something. I don't know. I'll have to go look. And I probably shouldn't even say that because I don't even know.
Yeah.
So just ignore
real
what
quick.
I just said.
So we can get people to come to YouTube, because we're trying to get more people on YouTube. Tell me about that saltwater tank in the back there, bro. I see money just pouring out of that.
No, it's just
fish.
It's just a 32-gallon tank. It was like $600, and I knew if I can keep a saltwater tank for a year, I can upgrade to at least a 100-gallon tank, and that's what we're looking at now. But those are like $5,000, and making all the saltwater, and it's a process.
Sell more dogs, man.
Yeah.
There you go. Speaking of it in the background. Did anybody, if you're on YouTube, you'd probably notice that Jason and I have the same, well, you probably can't see it. Let me move it. Jason and I have the same paintings in the background.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You guys are buddies, butt buddies.
So
what fish do you have in there?
Just 2 clownfish and a wrasse. I've been trying to grow corals and something, the pH or some weird imbalance thing with the fish tank right now. It's just been a headache. So take a little break from the fish tank.
I know nothing about that except fish tastes good. So I
like
want
100 gallons.
Yes. Oh yes.
A lot of water.
Yeah.
So I never had any fish. Do you name them?
No.
That's
smart. That they're all named Nemo.
Yeah.
They're gonna die.
Exactly. You don't know if they're dead the next morning. So
it's like when my daughter was little, we carry these fucking hamsters or gerbils, and she would name them some bitches. Like 2 weeks later, one of them take a header off the, climb out at night and found dead. We probably had, I can't remember. We had one name, and it was like 5 of them in 4 months, 5 months. They do not. I'm like, you're killing me here. This is a lot of heartbreak every couple of weeks, man. You're killing me with this. So.
Oh God. So on that note, dead hamsters and gerbils. Jason, where can we find you now on like social media? Like where can people look you up? Where can apartments find you? Pet training.
Yeah. We're on ccak9.com or Carolina Canine Academy LLC.com. Facebook.
Letter spelled out or letter K number 9?
CCA letter K number 9, and then completely spelled out for I wouldn't even worry about that. So it's got 2 URLs.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
If you're in North Carolina, you just click it in your phone and it'll take you straight there.
Yeah. And then obviously Facebook, just looking on us. So.
Excellent. E, what about you? You got the change with the Van Ness versus the Ridgeside, huh?
Yeah, Van Ness K9 on Instagram, and back on Facebook is all police stuff. Ridgeside K9 Ohio is everything pets. Launched today, so we're excited, man.
Excellent.
Separating it, I can pay attention and figure out what's making money and what isn't.
There you go. And I'm at Torchlight K9, letter K number 9, Torchlight Pets on the Instagrams and the Facebook. Torchlight K9 is obviously police dogs. The pets is the pet stuff. We started a thing recently. Well, we didn't. Alicia did. Where all the graduates from the pet thing, they have like the fucking Harry Potter ties and shit on them. And so these dogs graduate before they go home. And Alicia's like, you need to put the tie on them. I'm like, no, I don't. And so I do. And
yeah, of course.
And I put the little fucking hat on them and the whole thing and make them do a place. They sit there. And I'll tell you what, like those, like the owners love people will send their dog to me just so they can get that photo. I'm like, all right. I mean, cool, I guess. And it's literally 30 seconds of the entire time they're with me. And I'm like, you know, your dog is not reactive to people anymore, and he walks through Home Depot without a fucking leash on, and he doesn't care about anybody else, but he's got a fucking tie on, so it's cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, the pictures of the dogs with the ties on is the Torchlight Canine or Torchlight Pets. And then the other stuff is Torchlight Canine. So, and then my personal is Ted_Summers on Instagram. And of course, the podcast is working_dog_radio. We just gave away a shit ton of stuff from ALM and
Dogtra.
And Doctor. Oh yeah, well,
and vet care. Yeah.
and vet care. Yeah, we did a big giveaway for that. And of course, I shipped all that stuff. Actually, everybody, I know people because I've gotten some inbox people who've gotten it, but I shipped out like $5,000 worth of Doctor shit last couple weeks ago. So to all of our listeners from Patreon, from Instagram, and from Facebook. So if you're not a member of Patreon, head over there. I have 2 case write-ups that I need to put up there. One from the Sixth Circuit, one from the Sixth Circuit and one from the Fifth Circuit. That are relatively new. One's a dope case and one's a bite case. One specifically talks about outing, which if everyone listens to this knows that that's kind of a thing that I harp on a lot. But it mentions this specifically, so I'm going to put that up in Patreon. But yeah, other than that, Jason, man, I appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you all.
Episode was fantastic. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, no,
good luck to you in the
guys
business.
are great. Yep, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
All right, guys, this episode has been brought to you by great sponsors of ours. Please don't skip through this. Take a listen to them. One of our oldest sponsors and great friends of ours are the people down at Highland Canine down in North Carolina. I really like them. We see them at all the conferences. I know a lot of people have been to their school for dog trainers. They've been on the podcast. Highland Canine, they're a full service canine and pet dog training business where they can train you to be a trainer. They can get you a dog. They have handler classes. They have supervisor classes. They have trainers courses for just LE. They have them for anybody who wants to be in the dog business, be a dog trainer of any kind. Check them out. Their website is tacticalpolicecaninetraining.com, tacticalpolicecaninetraining.com. If you are smart, you'll go down there in the winter. It is North Carolina. It is warm. You get to work dogs. It's no joke school, guys. You're not going down there for a month and rushing through it. They're actually trying to make you real deal dog trainers. Tacticalpolicecaninetraining.com.
Next is a sponsor that's been with us for quite a while, Dogtra. I love Dogtra stuff, and they continually keep bringing out new products. One of the things that I've been using a lot lately is the new Tone Box. If you're a pet trainer or if you train a lot of police officers, and I harp at my guys all the time about timing, and this thing literally compares to the remote. And when you're using the remote, whether you're using Nick, Constant, or Vibrate, it makes a noise. So you can get the timing down 100% consistent. And so I can demonstrate how to do an out with an e-collar immediately, quickly, and it is so effective that I can't believe that it took me forever to figure it out to get that. They've also got these new comfort feather, like titanium things that go on the collars that are fantastic for making sure we got contact. It actually has 6 points, and this comes in 2 sizes, and it's a titanium feather thing. They're awesome. They got comfort contact points for the bark collars, the YS600. One of my favorite things. I have about 50 of them at the kennel, and it is dead silent. And I put them on all the pet dogs, and I can leave them on because they have the comfort contact points, and they're fantastic. All this stuff you can get at dogtra.com. And if you use the discount code WDR10, you get 10% off a single item over $200. So that covers the ball trainer. That covers the 1900 Ask Hands Free, which is my personal favorite for all the big dogs. It covers the 2-dog system, the 202C, which I use for the 2-dog pet guys, and fantastic. So dogtra.com, or go to @dogtraofficial on all the socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, all those places. So hit them up, dogtra.com.
Guys, I don't even shop any other sites when I'm looking for everything for dogs. Our one-stop shop for anything pet dog training and police dog training, hunt dog training, anything you need, you can find at rayallen.com. They have been doing it forever. We have a great relationship with them. Again, they're at all the conferences. You can stop up and talk to them. They have more stuff there than any place. rayallen.com. They are amazing. We have a great, really, really good relationship with those guys. Like I said, I get on their website. I do not look anywhere else. I just get on Ray Allen. Why should I? Fill up my cart, pay it, Boom, shipping. Here we go. Everything's coming. RayAllen.com. And guess what? We do have a discount code for them. Working Dog Radio for 10% off. It's all one, Working Dog Radio, and it's all caps. Check them out, RayAllen.com.
I'm not too ashamed to admit that I used our own discount code to buy stuff for the kennel. We have American Aluminum next. They're a new sponsor for moving forward. They have been around for quite a while. They manufacture a wide variety of products, from the high quality cam lockers and toolboxes to a huge line of products designed to meet the ever-changing needs of law enforcement community. Back in 1992, due to the demand for safe, secure transport for a nearby law enforcement department's canine, they introduced the very first Easy Rider canine. They have continuously grown and expanded products, catering to the needs and wants of the valued customers and high-profile clientele. Over the years, as the needs have changed, they have evolved and expanded their products to include inmate transport systems, canine training aids, canine inserts, contraband, containment, and animal control systems, just to name a couple of things. So you can find them at easyrideronline.com. That is Easy Echo Zulu Rider Online.com. You can find them on the socials at American Aluminum Accessories, and then you can hit them up toll free, 1-800-277-0869. You don't have to worry about writing all that down. We're going to put it in the show notes. So just scroll down to the bottom, write it down, click the link, takes you straight there onto your phone.
Our first sponsor we ever had, he's our ride or die. He's been with us since the beginning, is Arno over at ALM Canine Equipment. His stuff is so good. Ted, gets suits. Ted's suit, he's had it for a long time. Arno's fixed it. He's taken 1 million bites on it. It still holds up. The thing's amazing. I've got a suit from him. I love it. Use it all the time. But the main thing that I really love about Arno is his hidden sleeves are ridiculously amazing. They are the best. And his tugs. I usually buy tugs from Arno by the box load. He'll send me a whole bunch of them. I hand them out to the handlers, new handlers when they come in, experienced handlers. They last for a long time. They're amazing. The craft work is great. Arno's doing all the sewing there. He's got pre-made suits. He can do custom-made suits, everything you need out there. And he's out there in sunny Las Vegas. Get on his website, check him out, almcanineequipment.com, almcanineequipment.com. Discount code WD Radio, all caps, 10% off your first order. Check him out.